Hey, how are y'all doing? It's Mob Guppy, where the Guppy is the mob. It's if you haven't subscribed to the Mob Guppy channel yet, please do. Um, the story came out about the King of DIY. I'm subscribed to the King of DIY. Don't watch a lot of his stuff, mainly because it really doesn't apply to me all that much. But apparently, he went out and dropped the baddest of all the bad words. None of your business, V-Stag, Chewy, Alex breeding fish, all in the house. Hello, how are y'all doing? So let's talk about what I saw the clip, and apparently Joey's gone out. Hey, Daryl has gone out and erased it. Here's below, everybody. Come on. Come on. Okay, doesn't want to come up yet. Hey, Jeff, Valley Fish, how are you? So the story goes like this: is that I saw the clip, Teresa Cookie, or is it Teresa Cookie? Help me out. Hey. So apparently he dropped the word that should never be uttered by anyone outside of its ethnic group. He dropped the N bomb. And there's no question he said it. He said it. Now, I know a lot of people dislike Joey at the King of DIY for a couple of different reasons. Number one, he's amazingly successful. He has 1.32 million people who watch it. Tea or cookie, if that's better. Okay, very good. GRB, what's going on? And I know a lot of people are a little jealous of him because, he has a lot of stuff. He's, a pretty popular thing. He does a lot of different stuff. I'm not the king of DIY. I'm not particularly good at building junk with my hands. I'm good with my hands, but I'm not that good at building things. I'm not your construction guy. Bolo, what? You want to go outside? What do you want? Hold on a second here. I have. May have to put him in the backyard for a little bit. It's a squirrel. So people don't like the guy because, I think for various reasons. Some people don't like him because they don't think that, for whatever reason it is. Some people say he's a jerk, etc. I've never met him. I don't know. He very well could be a jerk. He very well could be a nice guy. I don't know. I have no idea. But I want to talk about this. Is that he does a lot of content, and for any people that work in creative type of stuff, and so it's and and yeah, the guy may have done a GoFundMe. I'm not involved with that, and I get why people don't like it. Okay, now the process is, and the process is, he does a lot of content. He does a lot of stuff. He jumps on, does live things. So the idea here is that of him making a mistake was going to happen. It was going to happen. And the deal is about the web, the beauty and the evil of all the web. Hold on here. What, Bolo? You want to go outside? Hold on a second. I'll complete my thought. 1 second. Okay, Bolo, come. Bolo, come on. I'm coming, guys. Putting them outside. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, Bolo decided he wanted to go out. All right. So again, I don't necessarily have, the idea here is that he went out and he dropped the word he should never ever drop. He does a lot of content, a lot of stuff. You're working a creative type of thing without a net. Mistakes are going to be made, but saying the N word is the worst thing you could ever say. Obviously, an Asian race car driver of all things, he gets fired. He's like persona non grata, and because of and so again, it just goes in. All right. Um, I don't know about all the different things. I don't watch a lot of him. I watch some. I'll tell you why I don't watch a lot of him. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, he doesn't keep the fish I like. Number two, he does these DIY projects. And again, it's something I'm not that high on. Just not high on doing a lot of that. But I do know there's a lot of fish tubers that look at his numbers and they're a little jelly. I'm not that jelly of him. And again, if he's done bad things, I'm not aware of it. But again, I've not buried myself into the king of DIY stuff. All I can do is tell you this, is that when you have people go out and somebody's very successful, there are people that will go out of their way to bring them down. Just is. Hey, by the way, let's say hi. We've got Turbo Fish. And are we talking about the Canadian turd sandwich? Yes. And again, it's the process here is that what he said was amazingly bad, awful, terrible. And doctor, my hair, it's like growing out. It's gonna be real crazy and gray before you know it. Got to go see a hairstylist. And Anthony's Fishy Friends, how are you? See, someone live. You see, Doug, it's my fault that Jeff didn't finish your video. By the way, it's a very good video, and you'll want to see it. So Joey drops the N-bomb. He goes out and drops this N-bomb thing, and he erases it, starts making fun about himself being canceled. I get I get sort of why people go out. And again, I'm not familiar with all the different stuff. I know people don't like the guy. I know people love the guy. I know Rachel O'Leary loves the guy. I know that IFG loves the guy. I don't know the guy. I've never met him. I haven't watched a lot of his content. All I can talk about is the idea here is that there's a reason why people don't like him. And hey, Mrs. B, Angie, what's up? And I get it why there are people who do not like the guy. I'm not a big fan of of people raising money for themselves and that type of thing. That's if he did a GoFundMe thing, shame on him. I don't know the details about it, so I'm not going to go out and go into it. Whatever you say, yeah, very well may be true. All I can say is this: is that I don't wish for people to be ripped down. And yeah, when the bigger the things get, the harder the thud, as none of your business said before the live stream he put on a comment. Totally true. Totally true. And hey, thank you very much, Doug Gray. The process here is that we have to get to the thing of rooting for the hobby. And and if you think that I'm a bad actor or Joey King of DIY is a bad actor, don't watch, don't support. YouTube loves the King of DIY because he has 1.3 million followers, and that's stuff they can sell. He makes money for them. He's going on from there. Hat Trick Farm, what's up? And so the whole process here is that the guy has become kind of too big to fail. And he's become very, very big in what he has done. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to center myself on, I'm going to go in. What I want to center on is the good stuff that we do and the Fish Fam does. Robs, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. And did I miss anybody by any chance? Hat Trick Farm. I said Hat Trick Farm. All I can say is this, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. So the process comes down to is that if this guy dropped the N-bomb, and I will tell you, I've seen the clips, I am not going to play it. You know why? I'm not going to play it. And Turbofish, that's right. I don't want any credit of helping anybody. It's there's this old thing, and for those of you who read the New Testament, it's the good of your left hand should not allow your left hand to know what it's doing. So the idea is, go out and see it. And I think most people have seen it. It's no, that's totally true, Mr. B. Hey, welcome to the live stream. You don't have to watch it. And if you find somebody, again, I don't watch a lot of Joey, not because I dislike him, not because I don't know him. Like I don't know many of you. Select Pet, what's up? I watch the things that I find most interested in. I like the idea of going out. I like watching what people do with guppies, with placostomuses. I like watching. I like watching stuff that I'm not a big DIY guy. That sort of eliminates that channel for me. It's not. It's nothing against anybody. It's just it has. So I haven't gotten into the whole drama around the entire process. And Doug Gray, you're right. Doug Gray said, I do not say this in a rant of jealousy, but I have found that all of the large subscriber-based channels know nothing about fish. Crystal, what's up? And you're a car salesman for 4 years. You know crap when you see crap. Doug Gray weighing in. And I will tell you, one of the things I try to do with this channel, and this isn't about my channel, but I'll say what I do. When I don't know something, I'm not scared to say it. Why? Well, because I'm learning things, and just man, I know things, and the whole process is that my Fish Fam type stuff is, I have seen people who don't know a lot of different things about the Fish Fam. Don't know a lot of different things. They have big channels. That's fine. And the process becomes, we have to pay attention to what we like and what goes on. And you can sit there and say, I don't like this channel. I don't like that channel. And that's fine. Don't watch it. My energy on most things is on what I can do to better what, to enjoy and what goes on. I'm not in the ripping down type of person stage. I will tell you that I personally have been around people who have dropped the N-bomb. Hey, David Samsel. Thank you very much. So the whole part of the idea here is that I'm in the business of expanding the fam. I'm in the business of expanding the fish fam. And I've been around people that all of a sudden have used a racially insensitive language. And you know what I do about it? I just don't affiliate with them anymore. I get invited to something, busy. It's and totally busy. That's what I do. And so that's what I avoid. That's what I go in. And yeah, and by the way, anybody who does a channel like this, there's a little razzmatazz in it, a little bit of show business in it. Okay, it is what it is. And some of these channels have real big characters. You know who I'm talking about. There's some of these people that are, hey Rob, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. But these folks that go in, is that I know what I heard with the King of DIY. He's not apologized for it, which is fine. That means I don't associate with him. That's it. And and by the way, yeah, going on social media drunk, no matter where you are, no matter what goes on, not a good idea. It's like going to your company Christmas party and getting hammered and telling the boss's wife she's too thin or too heavy. It's not a win. It's never a win. Hey, Jesse, HC Aqua, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, so my deal here is this. Sobriety's pretty good. Yeah, and again, and that's fine, none of your business. Don't care. I just think it's part of what's going on in the fish fam now, so I thought I would discuss it. Aquamate, what's up? And again, if he doesn't like me, I don't care. I don't know him. I have no idea if I would like him or not. Not happy he dropped the N-bomb. Okay? Not happy. That's not what I do in my life. Just is. Yeah, Terry's Tropical Tanks. People Facebook sober? Who knew? Exactly correct. Exactly correct. I do, ironically. And you know what? And if he comes after me, starts trolling me, or some of his people start trolling me, I'm a big boy. I can handle this stuff. It's I can handle it. But again, the process is Thirsty Rabbit. What's up? Great having you here. In a moment, I'll have to get Bolo. Bolo is begging to go outside. And I'm looking to see if the rain is starting again. Can you guys give me like 60 seconds here? Hold on a second. Let me go get Bolo. Go to get the Bolo. Hold on. Okay. I'm back. I got him. I'm bringing him. Hold on. Thank you guys for holding on. Thank you guys for holding on. All right. Say hi to Bolo. All right. And Oh yeah, here's the deal about coronavirus for my Aussie and Singapore folks and all this type of stuff. Yeah, it's social distance. It's the way to go. Social distance is the way to go. So I got back pretty quick. Maple Street Aquatics. Hey, welcome to the live stream. So let's start talking about what we all can do. And if we don't like somebody for whatever reason, okay, dropping the N word. Probably a good idea to avoid them. Someone who does, who lies, cheats, and steals, yeah, avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts. You don't like someone's channel, avoid them. So that's the deal. I can tell you right here, there's a bunch of really good channels right here. Right here, there's a bunch of really cool channels. I'd rather watch what's going on with with Rob 93, with Doug Gray, Maple Street, Select Pet, Thirsty Rabbit for You. It's Aquamate, Hattrick Farm. I'd rather watch you guys than worry about Crystal and her pets and plants and GRB Aquatics. And I'm trying not to forget anybody. Jesse with HC Agua. None of your business. Send me an email at mob.guppy@gmail.com. I'll make sure I'm subscribed to your channel. I probably already am. Anthony's Fishy Friends, Terry's Tropical Tanks. I'm in the business here of Go at Valley Fish, Jeff at Valley Fish. I can forget Chewy and David Samsel. I'm in the idea of supporting our family. Cookie, Teresa Cookie, Mr. B's, Angie's Fishing Things, Rob's aquariums. Again, I'm here supporting all of you guys. And Turbo Fish, love me some Turbo Fish. When are we doing our live stream together, by the way? When are we doing that? Alex Breeden Fish. You see, these are all really good channels. V-Stag, Gerald Deemer. Gerald Deemer, I went that long. I was saying Alex Breeding Fish. You see, these are all good people. And quite frankly, as Doug Gray pointed out, you probably all know more stuff than some of the real big channels. Big J's Fish Keeper. Welcome to the live stream. The process here is we all know stuff. Vinoxky Tanks, hey, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, you see, there you go, Doug Gray. I watch a lot of Guppy stuff, mainly because that's what goes in. So people who know what they're doing with Guppies, I watch them. It's I go out and I watch them like there's no tomorrow. By the way, hey gang, we have 27 people here and only 12 thumbs up. Come on, dig in, give me a thumbs up, help your brother out. 28 in the house, so that's all good. Okay, Bolo's getting down. Yeah, my dog is really spoiled. He's deaf as a post. By the way, I took him out for his walk about 45 minutes ago before we started the live stream. And all of a sudden, there was a big thing of thunder. He cannot hear, and he goes, ugh. Fancy Tail Aquatics. There's another good channel for you guys to watch. Big J is a good one to watch. And yeah, I pay attention to the Guppies. I pay attention. I'll tell you the one thing that I watch a lot of, and it's mainly because I'm trying to get is the whole betta thing. I'm again scared I'll have 100 jars of bettas throughout my house. And so I'm not going betta. If you guys ever see me go betta, by the way, hey, do me a favor, hold an intervention, drag me on a live stream and say, stop it. Don't even think about it. Guppies are enough to go down the road with. So the process is this. Let's go out and support, who we are there to support each other in growing the fish fam. And some of the big channels, yeah, and I'm not pointing any fingers out, but obviously someone dropping an N-bomb, that's usually a reason for me to avoid something, but that's me. You may love it. Probably not. I don't know a lot of people are really thrilled about that. But, again, I don't speak for people. You know what? We're all adults. We all can speak for ourselves. And you think bettas are a fading interest breed? Beautiful fish, and used to breed them, etc. You know what? I have not been asked to join a late night panel. I'd have to do it on the weekend because I get up at 3:45 in the morning. But I would love to join a late night panel. Not been asked. I do a live stream with anybody. Not been asked. I have been asked. Aquamate asked me, and I was on with Aquamate, Dr. Black, and Thirsty Rabbit. It was great. Yeah, we've been talking a little bit a fancy tail topic. Thank you for fancy tail aquatics. Thanks for allowing me to reset the topic. We're talking about that. King of DIY has come under a lot of heat for pretty good reasons because he dropped the N bomb. Okay, not good. And yeah, Select Bet, you're not the only one. And hey, it was always good to join my Aussie boys. I love the Aussies. I love the Aussie. I love everybody. It's I've been to Latin America. I've been to Canada a number of times. I haven't done the Europe, Australia, Africa trip yet, but I want to go. I want to go to Asia. I want to go to Israel. I want to go to Jerusalem in the biggest way. And so yeah, and again, the idea here is that yeah, if you don't like somebody, don't subscribe to them. Don't worry about them. Just worry about you. And the beauty about this is that billions of people watch YouTube on a daily basis. So a lot of times the fish fam will look at the bigger channels. Again, I'm not criticizing. I'm just bringing these up. They'll look at Aquarium Co-op. They'll look at Corvus. They'll look at Rachel Leary, IFG. Some of these bigger channels. And Palmer's Aquatics, I think, has a lot. There's a bunch of that. I saw one the other day I'd never heard of before, 60,000 followers. And I'm single. I'm divorced. I have a small dog. I stay at home a lot. Guess what? Bolo wants to come up here. He scratched my leg, but now he's walking away. I have time on my hands. Besides, making meals for myself and preparing for work, and I generally, when it's all said and done, I'm pretty familiar with all the different stuff, all of it. And yeah, and I like some of the smaller channels too. I think that's good, Anthony. I think that's fine. But again, I have no great jealousy of of people that go in. It's the World Wide Web. There's millions of people, billions of people partaking on a daily basis, except for the good people of North Korea who don't have the internet. They just have a speaker that goes in their home that's wired, and that speaker says the stuff the sister of the great leader goes in. Bolo, what? God, he's just being such a little buttocks. Okay, I caught him. I caught him. Okay. So there you go. Yeah, and again, some of these channels, I find, by the way, Corey knows more about business than he knows about fish, especially when it comes to guppies. Hey, Lumpy Dog in the house. Again, I've watched those, and I've picked up some business stuff from him. I've picked up, I've watched a number of these things and learned a lot. I've learned a lot from a lot of you guys. It's Doug Gray's channel. I hate to bring that up because he's here, but I'd say if he wasn't here, There's a lot of cool stuff with Guppies. He's a Guppy guy. I learned from Guppies. There's a couple of IFGA Guppy guys who do some video stuff. I like watching them. And just because I pick up a few things, I'm not somebody who knows everything. And anybody who thinks they do know everything, it's very problematic because it's um, especially when you get down to like guppy genetics, which become so freaking complicated. It's basic Mendel genetics turned up by 100,000. I mean, they're so complicated. So it's Mendel, by the way. Gregor Mendel was the guy who came up with the pea genetics, and you take a yellow pea and a green pea, and uh, you allow them to cross pollinate, and all of a sudden, if it's a green pea that has nothing but dominant traits, well, all the baby peas will be green. And but if you do the next generation, the green pea to the green pea that has the yellow gene in them, it comes out to be about 25%, 50% carrying that thing. Well, guppy genetics much more difficult than that. I've been reading a lot of different things on guppy genetics. Very difficult, very interesting to go through. And so that's yeah. And the deal is, I worked with somebody who, years ago, and this woman would always say, "Oh, if I make a mistake, VB23, welcome to the live stream." And yeah, I'll tell you what, I did. Speaking of hair algae, I did some digging up the other day, and so it's it is when it's all said and done. Um, I lost my track of time because the dog's on me. Yeah, VB23. Let's talk about guppy genetics for a second here, Lumpy Dog, because that's a great thing to go in. Because if you go again about Mendel, who taught us the idea of the pea, the humble pea. Well, when you cross two strains, you're not just breeding those two strains together. You're breeding all the different things in the background to create that strain. So all of a sudden, you may have two genes that match up, and boom, there you go. So again, it's just it's an interesting thing, and what's dominant and what's recessive and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, hidden genes. And the deal is they're really not hidden. We just don't know the background of the fish because the fish have been bred for that certain color, those certain traits, generation after generation after generation. And you never quite know what you're going to get. Now, and VB23 are absolutely correct. People who think they're, think that be careful, and so-called hobbyist tries to act like they know everything. And yeah, there's something to be said about that. But the Mendel template for how to look at genetics is basically true. It's just that it's just the amount of genes to create the color traits, the tail traits, everything of the guppy is so is so beyond um, that simple type of thing. It basically it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing as the peas. There's just a lot more into it. All right, Bolo, you want to go down again? So hopefully he goes and lays down now. He's eaten. He's gone for his walk. Life is good. So yeah. By the way, Chewy, I was reading some of Shattuck's work referenced in a couple of scholarly papers at academia .edu. Is fantastic. And VB23, you want to know what I do for a living or someone else? Philip has excellent books on it. Yep. Oh, I work in branding and I do voiceover work. You can see my voiceover page. You can see my website and voiceoverpeter.com. So there you go. So the process of going in and and developing these things very, very unique, etc. Yeah, and I also time travel. That's correct. I also met the weird guy from Ancient Aliens. I was in a room with him at Alien Con. He and me and a couple other people. And really nice guy. Not nearly as weird as you think. From Victoria, and or just like beer. From Victoria, I like beer. I like beer. Makes me a jolly good fellow. I like beer. Yo, mellow. And by the way, the hair algae thing, I did water changes. I've been trying to get rid of all my guppy grass and just go with hornwort. And I moved stuff over, and I had some guppy grass move over because that's just what happens. And so there you go. You know what, David Samsel? Let's talk about snails and fish. Are you talking about the large size mystery snails, the big ones, or the little teeny ones, or small ones, medium? There you go. That's business. LFS going down. By the way, the most creepy person in the world, and God, if somebody's going to be in this audience is going to be does this for a living, but I'm going to say this anyways. The ice cream truck is coming down. And they play like that organ grinder music, like you see with monkeys. Yep, there we go. Ice cream truck going down. I didn't run outside. Yeah, they'll chew away at him. They'll chew. David Samsel. They'll go and chew away at him. And yeah, I'll tell you what. I had a huge snail problem, and I went out and got some assassin snails from our good friend Logan at Ambus Aquatics. Let me tell you, I don't have much of a snail problem anymore. They took care of business. Except the 55, which is waiting to put more different plecos in it, all of a sudden has a bunch of, and I don't even know where these snails came from because they're not baby assassin snails. They're like the Malaysian trumpet snails. All of a sudden, all over the thing, I have like dozens of them. So who knows? What I ended up doing, Chewy, with my plecos is that someone suggested that I try moving the caves out in a big direction since it's a good sized aquarium. So I tried that and I've been watching it. If I look at them, if they go out and go after each other, I'm going to take one of the males over to to my LFS and try to trade her for some delicious frozen food. I do need some frozen cyclops. I like that a whole lot. Almond leaves for antibacterial properties as well. That's a good question, VB23. Hey, Carlos, what's up? DPK Aquariums. Been a long time since I've seen you. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. And I have not tried the dried cyclops. I've done the frozen, which I like. I have not. I've always had kind of bad luck Hey, Logan, Ambist Aquatics in the house. How are you? I just mentioned you. I mean, just moments ago. Tried the dried Cyclops by San Francisco brand. Okay, I'll give that a shot. 13-year-old top fin. Finally died on my 46 both front. Hang on back filter. No, you can't be upset about that at all. I've had hang on back filters go out after 2 years, and I won't say the brand, but I don't use them anymore. And I don't use hang on back filters right now. I've liked the way that they do the stuff, but I've not been using. I've been using canister of those big aquariums. So yeah, so that's good. Um, the other thing that I have found, you know, is that with Guppy carrying is doing the live baby brine shrimp hatching. In fact, an hour ago, about an hour and a half ago, I did a big honkin' feeding of my tanks, and my fish are nice and gorged out. Nice and gorged out. Hey, thank you very much, DPK. Carlos, really appreciate it. And yeah, you can't go wrong with excellent. Yeah, I went and did, and you'll see videos on it if you look it back if you hadn't seen them. I did some videos. I went and bought a couple of different worm cultures. Well, let me just tell you something. I can see keeping them if you have egg layer baby fish and stuff like that. I found that as the cultures got more mature and sometimes did their upped their game as far as production, all of a sudden they smelled like death. I mean, absolute death. I came into my house and it smelled like death, and I'm going, okay, did I forget to take out the garbage? Did I go out and forget to take out different stuff? No. I went over there and all of a sudden I'm going, oh my God, they're awful. I just took them all out and I said, okay, I had fun with it. I did it for a while. Done. It's I'd rather do the frozen cyclops. I'll try the San Francisco brand dehydrated stuff. I will go out and try all that different things. I'll try anything, but and vinegar eels not really that good for guppies. Not good for guppies at all. Yeah, vinegar eels with the guppies. Yeah, it just yeah, you're running the bio wheel from way back first generation. Very, very cool. Daphnia. Yep, I've used frozen Daphnia. Yeah, it's in fact my fish store has the frozen Cyclops and the frozen Daphnia. I don't have any of either in the house right now. I do have some wonderful. Uh, I do have some wonderful uh, uh, frozen brine shrimp, not brine shrimp, uh, bloodworms. You can take that medicine that makes everything connect. Thanks, VB23. I really appreciate it. Hey, here's my schedule. It's Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern as well. Do it every week. And yeah, Daphne works out really well, Chewy. I'm glad you brought that up. I love it. Bee brine shrimp. Again, mine get gorged on it. It's they love it. Yeah, it's and I know people who do keep Daphnia cultures. I've seen how to do it. I just haven't done it yet, but I probably should. It probably wouldn't hurt. Probably wouldn't hurt to do it. Yeah, it's yeah, the well, and you can culture. You see, I live in a place called Missouri, and Missouri has something called skeeters, and I can make my own bloodworms in the back. In fact, I saw a recipe of how to do it. I always thought the idea with mosquito larvae is just put something out, kind of make it kind of shady, and maybe put a couple of leaves on top, and come back in a week, you'll have some. And oh yeah, Marion Days, not far from where I am. I'm in Joplin, Mo. Seed shrimp, super easy. Yeah, I use the shrimp pellets in some of my tanks. And you're right; those are really good. Those are really, really good. Yeah, yeah. Select pet accidentally makes mosquito larva now and again. So as a little kid, this and little kids do what little kids do. I haven't made scuds. I have not done that. Valley fish. I've seen a couple of tutorials on it. I've not done it, but I need to give it a shot. Um, so when I was a little kid, and I loved me some. I just saw a sign for Waffle House being open. I think I'm going to do that on payday. I think I'm going to go to Waffle House. It's my cheat meal. And yeah, there you go. Fairy shrimp. Haven't worked with those. Yeah, you don't purposely culture. Yeah, that's sort of the deal. Now so as a kid, uh, we kept my dad was the guy who got me into keeping an aquarium. We got a goldfish, and then for like my sixth birthday, not birthday, for Christmas, all of a sudden I went downstairs and there was this magnificent and huge uh 15-gallon aquarium, and with gold tetras. It also had it had black skirt tetras, couple of cories, uh, a coolie loach. That's sort of what got into sort of the deal. So we had a goldfish that we moved up to a bigger tank, a little teeny little comet that probably cost a nickel. And she got too big for that, so it was a he probably, but we called her she. Her name was Goldie. Yeah, I was like 4, not real original. So we moved it up to a bigger tank, into a bigger tank. And so Goldie uh was all right, Jeff at Valley Fish. Send me a note at mob.guppy at gmail.com, and I'll reach back to you. I'll get you my phone number. And so and so I with this, the first fish bowl for that small little guppy, I went out and got what I called baby tadpoles. I was 6, 7 or years old. What the heck do you know? You know nothing. So I set them up. My dad was, busy traveling, busy dad stuff. Mom's going from there. All of a sudden, it was like a Tuesday morning, and the house is filled with mosquitoes. And my dad went down and figured out what it was. He goes, "Who brought these in here?" You know what I'm saying? So we learned that. And I'll tell you what, freshly born mosquitoes, let me tell you something. They want to drink some blood. They want to drink some blood. Good thing my college is 15 minutes away from home, and you can go home on the weekends. There you go. And yeah, being away from the fish, trust me, I when I go on a vacation, the dog comes with me. Hey, thank you very much, David Samsel. Thanks everybody for the big thumbs up, 24 so far. I really appreciate it. Who is, thanks, David Samsel. Have a good one. Who's your favorite biggest fish keeper inspiration right now? It's a good question. Um, no, and one of them is right here in the chat, Doug Bray. I learned a lot from him. Um, I'm learning a lot from. I'm a member of the International Fancy Guppy Association. I'm learning a lot from those people. I've picked up a ton. Um, I really wish that I had the opportunity to have met Stan Schubel and Luke Roebuck, who were two big Guppy guys. And yeah, Lucas Bretz, he's an. I'll tell you what, he does stuff in such a different way. I appreciate what he does. It's he does, the dirted tanks thing. Someone was asking me if I'd be interested in doing dirted tanks, and I'm going, yeah, not so much. Not so much. But I appreciate what he does, and I love watching and all that sort of stuff. Jeff Marliev, I don't know Jeff, but I'm sure he's good. Chewy, if you like him, yeah, yeah, not during doing dirty tanks. And by the way, I have nothing against him. It's just I'm not doing them. It's just I don't see myself doing it. But I appreciate it. Yeah, select pet. That's a good answer because I am too. I pick up stuff, from the things I watch and from the different things. And you know, yeah, Doug. Here's what I'll say about Lucas is that I think he knows stuff about fish. I think he knows stuff about aquascaping. What I don't think he knows a ton about is, for guppies and for that, he's a big colony breeder type of guy, and that's not my deal. And I go through and when all of a sudden I get too many guppies in the tank, I just start separating them, and then I set up new breeding groups. Sort of what I do. You see, and again, I just am not, and here's the deal though, Valley Fish and VB23 about the dirted tanks. I'm going to tell you, as of today, I'm not that interested in them. I don't like the idea of them and all that sort of stuff. But let me tell you something. For all I know, 3 months from now, 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, all of a sudden I'm going, oh, I never thought I was never that high into ancestral plecos. Now I love them. Absolutely love them. Yeah, well, I'm a poor boy too, VB23, and except for my big tanks, my tanks are basically all bare bottom. Okay, I'll restate what I said earlier about the king of DIY. Is that apparently, in fact, I saw the footage. He dropped the worst of all words, the N bomb, especially from a white person saying that it's just something that never, ever, ever should happen. He's made fun of it. He deleted it, but some people grabbed it. He does stuff that I'm not interested in. He does a lot of the type of fish that he's more interested in, is not what I keep. Nothing against them. I know people that keep fish like that. It's like the king and queen of cichlids. They keep bigger fish, but I'm interested in their channel because they bring a lot of passion to it, and they bring a lot of different stuff. And so, what type of fish do you like with your dirted tank, Hat Trick Farm? Yeah, it's just not a good word. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of people who dislike someone because their race or their religion or their. It doesn't mean I don't have strong opinions on different things, but there's a few things I can do in my life. I can't change my skin color. You can't change yours. It's I can't change my height. I can change my weight. I can take off some pounds. Look at this chin. I can wear one of those laser caps to grow more hair in. I can do that. I can't change other people. I can't go in. So, with my time and what I watch, I generally watch a lot of stuff having to do with guppies, or if all of a sudden something kicks in, or shall we say, I like boxing and all sorts of stuff. What bucket list fish do you want to add? My current bucket list fish is to do a leopard frog plecos. That's the one thing I'm after. You know what? They don't make a twins laser cap, and they probably should. Oh, here. My twins hat, everybody. Man, I need a haircut. How many people are going to get a haircut when everything opens up? Yeah, I like ancient history. I like this. The one thing I like about boxing, and for people who are not boxing fans or MMA fans, something like that, a lot of times they think people just like to watch the brutality of boxing. Not so much. For me, I enjoy everything about it. I like the stories. It's I like yeah, my brother is not cutting my hair. My mom, God love my mom, who's dead, okay, who's passed on. If I showed up at her house and I had a haircut 3 days before, her first thing is, "Can I give you a haircut?" No. Well, the deal about boxing, UFC has some of this. Boxing has these interesting backstories because a lot of times these are guys who come from the worst of the worst, the poor neighborhood in their country. They come from a gang infested area in the United States, and they get themselves out of it, and they pursue something, find something they're really good at, and they create a great future for their family. So there you go. Yeah, Kirby Puckett, Kent Herbeck, uh, you know, Jack Morris, yeah, Harmon Killebrew, all sorts of good players. Yeah, yeah, coming up from the worst of the worst and climbing up to the best. One of the reasons why I like boxing. Um, but for my fish tube stuff, yeah, my fish tube stuff, it is all about my fish tube stuff is just all about um I just watch people who keep fish the way I do. One of the reasons I like Doug Gray's, he tries all these different crosses. So that's kind of neat. I like looking at, and hearing from some of these people that go out and and one of the things that um sometimes bothers me, uh about people, some of the people that go in and they develop their line or what have you, is that you go to their channel and they're doing nothing but sell you. And by the way, I have no problem with selling, but there's a couple of IFGA guys who are big channels, and I will, and well, not necessarily big channels, but they're big breeders in that life, in that world, and they give you tips, but not a lot. And my line is that it's not about, while everyone wants to win a trophy and everyone wants to do all these different things, and that's the stuff. And so that's what goes on. Joe Lewis, yeah. Max Schmeling, yeah. And Jack Johnson. It's yeah, it's all good. It is all good. So the process of going in is how we enjoy our going on from there. The fish thing, here's another fish that I have that I absolutely love them. Are the fire red shrimp. Absolutely love them. I never thought I would see them and I'd look at a couple of channels that do a lot of stuff with shrimp. And I go, wow, that's great. That is really neat. I like that. But I didn't think I'd become, over the top interested. I love them. I think they're great. And yeah, the deal is, especially when you get into guppy care and genetics, is that I love to consider myself an amateur geneticist. I'm by no means pro. I read the stuff and go in from there. It becomes very complicated very quick with guppies, just because you can do so much with them. And these people who come out, especially in Asia, who come up with these amazing strains, absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm all about, by the way, Doug doing a fish room tour. I can't wait to have this other fish room up. I've got to get stuff going on with it. That may be my next thing. Yeah, it's the more knowledge, it's the more stuff, it's the more experience, it's the more failures. It's and again, someone asked me the other day, I think it was our buddy David Samsel, if I knew what my nitrates and nitrites are. And I'll tell you what, I don't. I look at it occasionally and yep, that's good. Yeah, that looks great. I'm more interested in looking at the pH and stuff like that because I do, reasonably regular water changes. I do a number of different things. The sponge filters. Most of my aquariums have the dual chamber where they have, media, that in the bottom of them, and so that's sort of how that works. I really like it. And I also, sorry for yawning, but I've been up since 3:45 this morning. And when I go to bed, when I'm done with the live stream, I'm gonna feed fish and I'm gonna get ready for bed because I'm gonna walk my dog right at 8 o'clock. I go to bed as soon as he's done walking, I go to bed. So I go to bed at, I need to be asleep by 9 p.m. If I'm asleep by 9 p.m., well then I'm in pretty good shape for the next day. If all of a sudden I'm up to like 10 or 11, I'm dead. And so, VB23, I used to be that way as well. I used to work, to 3 a.m. every day. I actually worked overnight for a number of years. And so my old man was one of these guys that always got up in the morning, always, boom. My mom, yeah, not so much. And my old man, who died a couple of years back from dementia, he didn't have Alzheimer's, he had dementia. Let me just tell you something. He went out and just that's funny, Doug. That's funny. And so that is the process of going out. And now I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. I have good trains of thought. I have the best trains of thought. It's and just think we're almost over with it and we really haven't gotten into music. And Chewy was here. That's saying something. That's saying something all the way around. So a couple of tips. Number one, at least for me, I don't drink and do live streams. I know some people do and they do just fine. Rob will have a beer going on. Scott and Liz will have a glass of wines going on. Fine. I don't have anything problem with it, at least for me. Because I'm probably the guy that go out and say just unbelievable crazy stuff. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Chewy, back in those days, that was the only way you were getting live food. That was the only way you were getting frozen food really didn't exist. So the old guys had to go out and do it. Take the ride to nowhere at 3 a.m. Yeah, my old man, okay, Alzheimer's, dementia, passed away just about 2 years ago. And here's what we did. My old man got up like clockwork at 6 a.m., made a pot of coffee, went out to get the newspaper. He would read the newspaper, especially towards the end. And by the way, any of you who've gone through having a parent or grandparent with dementia, it is not fun. It is not fun whatsoever. And so you'd sit there and go, okay, Dad, what was in the paper? I don't know. Can't remember. Just like reading it. Okay. The old guys had to do things for live food, for the best type of stuff. They had to do things that we don't have to do because of frozen foods, because of a wide variety of dried foods that are of high quality, like some of the stuff from North Fin, it's a Cobalt. Some of these brands are really, really good. The Doug Gray, high protein food. A lot of these things are really, really good. So, and see, that's interesting. Never buys fish food. He has either collected or cultured. That's sort of old school. That is just if that guy isn't that old, I bet he had a parent or a grandparent in on it that were pretty much in the biz. So that's that's pretty good. That's pretty good all the way around. Water lettuce, great for preventing bloat and African sickles. I didn't know that. Kind of neat. Yeah, Doug's food is good. Again, I fed Doug's food this morning to the Guppies at 5 a.m. right before I left. Then I did ultra pellets mid morning, about 4:45, 5 p.m. today. I did the baby brine shrimp, and I have some flake food. I'll do that at bedtime. So there you go. Hey, gang, thank you guys so much for being a part of what's going on. I really appreciate you being here, Valley Fish. We'll wrap it up because I know there are other live streams. 17 still here, 26 thumbs up. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for hitting thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I use Cobalt. I like it. I use Cobalt Ultra Guppy. I have a thing of it. I always have a thing of it in my room. I love it. So you guys have a good one. And again, thank you guys so much. And you, especially you, And I want to thank Joey of the King of DIY. You too.